Have you seen a sign like this around your local bike trail and wondered if your e-bike that you have now or e-bike that you're thinking about purchasing is qualified or considered a motor vehicle? Stick around, we're going to talk about some e-bike legality and e-bike classes in this video. E-bike rules vary from state to state. There also might be local and community rules regarding the use of e-bikes where you live. We're in Sacramento, California, so we're going to talk about California regulations in a moment. All these regulations are based on the three-class system developed by People for Bikes. You see here a graph of states in the U.S. that have adopted e-bike regulations that incorporate the three-class system.
Are e-bikes legal to ride on my local trail?
I will put the links for our area down in the description, but know that you're going to have to probably do some searching, ask some questions about how e-bikes are classified where you live. These e-bike regulations are actually amendments to the Motor Vehicle Code, which addresses this issue we were talking about a moment ago. It defines e-bikes as not a motor vehicle, its own type of transportation device. But the general definition of e-bike is it has to have a motor that is less than 750 watts, and it must have pedals that are for the use of propulsion of the bike, operable pedals. So here in California, once you define the e-bike, then the e-bikes fall in three classes. The People for Bike regulations talk about low-speed electric vehicles, and that's just kind of a way to define that these e-bikes are still meant to be in nature more like a bicycle. Class 1 e-bike has pedal assist only up to 20 miles per hour top speed. A Class 2 e-bike has a throttle that can provide assistance up to 20 miles per hour and pedal assist that can go up to 20 miles per hour. A Class 3 e-bike has pedal assist only up to 28 miles per hour.
Where can I ride an e-bike?
Class 1 and 2 e-bikes are allowed anywhere an analog or traditional bike would be. Class 3 e-bikes sometimes have places where they're restricted. The American River Bike Trail, which we're on today, restricts the use of Class 3 e-bikes. So if you meet the definition of an e-bike, you are neither one of these. Some of the newer language from the new amendment here in California is provides some provisions now for that the bike cannot be modifiable to exceed 750 watts or the speed limits. And the pedals cannot be there and then for the purpose of being removed. So they're trying to further limit some of the ideas that you've probably read about with e-bikes if you've been shopping, where it says this is like a Class 2 e-bike unlockable to a Class 3 e-bike. Well, that's not really in the spirit of the regulation, that unlockable nature. So this new amendment kind of calls that out as it has to be in its most maximum state conforming with the performance limits in the regulation. So the current regulations have been struggling to find out where they're landing on some of these e-bikes that really fall outside of the regulations, whether they can be turned up or are over 750 watts if they exceed 28 miles per hour. There aren't that many classes that are between an e-bike and a motorcycle. There is two classes. There's a motor-driven cycle and a moped. Both of those would require registration, some licensing, and probably insurance. So it's kind of a gray area for a number of bikes that are available on whether they are truly meeting some of these classes. Now, as part of the new regulation too, there is a requirement for e-bikes to be labeled with their class. So when you're shopping for e-bike, it should have a label on it. Your retailer should be able to tell you very clearly what class it meets. I do think the e-bike class system is important to kind of try to put some bounds on what is acceptable to ride out there. The main key for any of these e-bikes is to be riding it in a courteous manner and respecting this extra power that you have in an e-bike, which can help with a lot of things. It's also a significant responsibility as a rider.
Made possible by a grant from SACOG, the Sacramento Area Council of Governments.